welcome back everyone. Demon and Haze have stopped for the day, and now you're stuck, unfortunately, with me, Toby, and Saint. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, that's
wanna watch PUBG? Stay.
We're on to the last 3 games now, so I'm excited to see what happens. Obviously, W-Click are like they're getting quite far ahead now with the obviously that win. I mean the 1-kill win, but the second place as well with the 5 kills. They're starting to really rack up those points. And
you stole my whole intro. I was gonna lead it up to you.
I'm doing it now.
Let's read this. So yesterday, forget what he said. Forget what he said. I was really going to do like the biggest layup for you in the universe.
Lay me up.
And
lay me up. I'm ready.
Okay, ready? I was actually going to make you sound smart.
Go.
Okay, so yesterday, before we ended the stream, we had the scoreboard up. I asked you, before the stream ended, who do you look for today's games to impress? And who do you look to do good? And you said, W-Click. And I was like, damn, look at what they've done today. They almost got back-to-back wins now. Now you can talk.
There we go. Yeah, they've been really dominating. And I mean, they are the team here that's arguably the best from last time and NA, purely off the back of that PGC performance, which was absolutely insane, like how well they did. I think some of the NA teams slightly beat them in the end, but their performance in the group stage in the semi-final, I think definitely, as individual players, puts them right up there with the best of NA. And I think they're proving it tonight.
I mean, I put my in-game pick'ems on W-Click.
Oh, I did not. I put it on FaZe.
They disappointed me.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
but it was in spirit.
Sort of ruined my night.
I'm not really in a big need of skins anyway, but it was in... also, apparently that pan doesn't block bullets anyway, so I mean...
Yeah, just wear the normal pan.
It's not like you need it anyway.
Pro tip.
Exactly. But it has been a pretty interesting day so far. Of course, we didn't get to cast it, but we did get to watch it, and it has been a lot of fun. We do have one more Miramar game coming up, and then it's gonna be all about Wrangle. And I mean, if you are thinking right now in terms of W-Click, and they have an average placement finish of 1.5. That's pretty scary when they're already ahead. Yeah. And they have one more time to go on that map.
Yeah, I mean, they have been nuts tonight, and just in general. But I think at this point, you're sort of challenging for that second place. You know, all those teams below, it's sort of like unattainable. It's what we saw in NA Open as well. I mean, like EU has been really close at the top. We saw it was tied going into EU Open's last game. It went down to literally the final moment of the final circle. But EU Pro, even, there was only a 4-point gap. There was like 5-6 teams that could have still made it. But in an NA Open, we had the cadets that just took off. They started snowballing, started really pushing ahead at the top of the leaderboard. And now W-Click are doing the same thing in NA Pro.
We had it in the group stages here too. I mean, for the Pro, it was Sonic's Black, Tickleton, and Keen, and they won 3 wins in the second place. Okay, well, that's it. They're gone. But yeah, as we say, W-Click, they're starting to look like a team that could potentially separate themselves. But then again, there is still 3 games left, and we know some of these teams, they only need 2. I mean, we've seen teams, maybe it's not been for the win, but it's been somehow our teams go from 20th to 5th, and you're like, wow.
I mean, and if there are any teams in this lobby that can and probably should be the ones winning the last 2 games, you'd expect it's going to be sort of that 2nd to 5th. You know, if it's not W-Click, you expect the teams that have already been doing well to continue doing well, and that's where maybe that big gap isn't as big as we think. And maybe if W-Click have a bit of a rough end to the night, which I mean I do highly doubt, but if that does happen, then yes, we could see some teams sort of sneak their way back up.
Yeah, true. I'm okay. So on the first day, we sent our spirits to Taylor J and Pat camps. Somehow they just popped off. Yesterday you sent your spirits to W-Click. Now they've done well in the beginning of today and did well in the end of yesterday. Who gets our praise for the final 3 game here, Saint? Who gets our praise for the final 3 game? Do we want to look at the leaderboard first and then discuss it off of that, or do we
like to have a look at the leaderboard?
Okay, I think we'll do that in just a moment. We're getting the leaderboard ready for you. I'm just waiting for the last couple of players to join the server. It is late. I mean, it's late for us.
Very late,
but it's also getting a little later for. Do you have?
I mean, they're early, aren't they?
Do they have any excuse?
But they're what, 5 or 6 hours behind us?
So no, it's like 6 to 9, depends on where you are.
Yeah, like I'm talking East Coast. Yeah, East Coast.
Isn't East Coast 6 hours to New York? I think it is. And then further than that would be
there's like 9 to West Coast. Yeah, so I mean it's like early afternoon for them. So they should be.
But they're gamers. They just woke up.
That's true. Yeah,
they're a little tired still.
I mean, or if they're me, they would have just woke up as well.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah.
Because I have an awful sleep schedule.
Completely inside out sleep schedule. Exactly. Yeah. We are going to take a look at the leaderboard in just a moment, and well, I mean, right now, actually. Noble, of course, with the win there, 19 points. It's not too often you see a team decide to, deny points. in the 1v2 opportunity, especially if you're double click. I just think Kodak, he kind of mistimed his nade there. Didn't know he had the blue coming. He's like, you know what, I'm not gonna make it anyway. So
yeah, he got a bit messy. I think he was he was contemplating, does he push up the hill? Do I wait a nade? And then when he did finally decide what to do, it was a bit late.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, oh, well, I'm dead. So he just ran out and just
exactly. He figured there probably wasn't too much to come for in the end of that. And of course, also we have to mention to you guys now that we are playing the last game on SA servers. So that should be, I mean, if not even more of a benefit for WClick already, then it is sure. I mean, okay, so we have a total of 22 points down to second, and then from there 6 points down, and then oh my lord, look how close it is.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of middle pack, and even all the way from like.
21 points from so second to 16.
Yeah, but all those teams, one big game, and they're like the other way around.
They're all the way in there, yeah, exactly.
So to answer your question about the team that I want to see frag out, there are two teams. These are different ones. So I want to see Sonic's back in the top 3 by the end of this. Okay. We saw in the group stage how
they're 9. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So I think they can, and I think they should be competing right at the top. But I also want to see a bit of a turnaround from Fraggin and Shaggin down in 31st, because Crispy and VZ are two players that we know are great. We know they're really.
Are they 900? Are they 300 pink grade?
Yeah, that's true. But the NA servers, they should be fine. I can sort of understand the SA games going to.
They only have one NA game left, though.
Oh, that is true. Yeah. I still think they can sort of turn it around.
But that's what I was gonna say, because that's why I'm so impressed by second place AWD. I mean, Stab and Reload. Stab is playing under the. I think he's in Denmark. I mean,
move back now.
We have Christmas and everything coming up. I don't know. I would expect him to be in Denmark.
He's a gamer. What's Christmas?
Oh, that is true. I honestly don't know if he is in Denmark or not. But if he is, then it's very, very, very impressive, the fact that that he can play with such absurd pings.
Yeah, I mean, we said it yesterday about how they're a team that's not having those blowout matches, but every time we see the leaderboard at the end of the game, they've got like 6 or 7 points. Yeah,
exactly.
They have something, and they always get something from a game, and that's why we see them up at the top. And there's a lot of placement points that they keep getting, where they like one of them dies early, and then the other guy finds a way. Like he finds a way.
I mean, look at the last 3 games yesterday in a Wrangle. It was literally just like one game was Stab by himself running out of Pachinki as a solo, just finding 6 kills and like 5 placement points, and all of a sudden Rillo does pretty much the exact same thing the game following. So you never know. You never know what the singing in the rain man with his parachute can do this time around. Stab is landing all by himself on the western side of. Well, he's actually in Graveyard. Yeah, I'm not seeing Aurelio is down on the L in La Bandita.
Yeah, he dropped on the hard spawn car, right, over Aurelio. So I would assume the plan is to just drop on 2 cars. And then,
yeah, it makes sense.
Because then rotations, particularly on Miramar, rotations are vital. So if you can get 2 vehicles, it makes it so much easier to move around the map.
Yeah, exactly. LSR has been housed by 2 teams. And I saw Spreezy tweet earlier today that he wasn't feeling too well, so he wouldn't be streaming the Wingman series. Maybe that also means that he hasn't been playing. I'm not sure if Kevin MacArthur is not Spreezy, Shrimsy. Yeah, sorry.
You would assume it is because he's been playing like.
Yeah.
He had a weird name before as well. So
was his name just Shrimsy TV or something like that?
I thought it was different. Like he changed it in the group stage, and then it was changed to Kevin MacArthur. So. He had 2 different names in the group stage, but it was still Shrimsy.
Okay, so maybe
he's trying to annoy us all.
Maybe Kim is so confusing. It's so confusing when they swap names in the middle of tournaments. I think it was more the EU, like pretty much the entirety of Desperados. They just changed the names from group stage. I was like, guys, no, you're messing things up now.
They had like GQ 30-second of PGC.
Who is Winky Pinky? That's not a name I've seen before. That was pretty funny. But maybe you're right. I'm not sure. Maybe the chat can tell us, is Kevin MacArthur Shrimsy? Let us know in the chat if you're aware. And we can, of course, also ask.
I'll get it up. So we'll see in 10 minutes.
Yeah, in 10 minutes when it's 12:51, we will be able to know in the Twitch. They'll let us know. Now, I like to see when you go into the... I think Team Liquid is a good example of that, how they try to incorporate what they're used to doing in squads, to some extent at least, into these duos tournaments. And if you look at Cherry Poppin' right now, I mean, Rumbler's back in Chimacera. I like the idea of you going to loot spots that you've been used to going before.
And even Loss, obviously, Rumbler's Loss, who's actually finished.
He was looting the exact same spot too.
Yeah. So I think it's purely because they were all just comfortable doing it. And the other one, Lazarus as well. They were dropping San Martin, I want to say, or Hacienda.
No, there was Hacienda split.
In PGC, so they're up there again.
Exactly.
With Sonics, they're showing the love.
Perfect sense.
They didn't quite get Hacienda because Sonics Black have it, but they're still in the region that they're comfortable with, and they know the rotations out of. And the rotations are slightly different on duos, because you
Well, there's a lot different. Yeah, exactly.
you tend to go more direct, because if you take those wide rotations, you're just going to get camped. Like, someone will stop and try and kill you.
Yeah.
So you tend to go a little bit more direct. But there's a lot of teams nowadays that are incorporating that strategy into squads, and Lazarus less so. Their structure and their strategy is quite complex. So that they're quite well thought out. Whereas I want to look at like Liquid, particularly in squads, they go extremely direct nowadays. They just bomb it center. And it's something that we've been doing in Jersey. It didn't quite work out that well. I think they came like 10th in the end.
It's like quality over quantity in terms of the teams engaging you. If you rotate in squads and you drive past a team, 4 guys shooting you, odds are that you're going to go down. That might not happen in duos, but then you drive past, like in the same amount of time, you drive past 6 different teams, and that's 12 different players shooting at you. And then, I mean, there's just so many more chances of people being around. Now, I'm seeing Victor and Fudge, they're still spread in the center. They have 2 pretty, I mean, I don't want to call them essential spots, but they're 2 pretty decent center positions. They won the last game, and they don't want to go out early here. Same thing could be said about Crispy and Weezy. They hear Calnix and Harold over the hilltop. And seems like Harold is kind of committed to this one. Maybe not, I'm not sure.
It's a pretty decent position in the circle, that compound, but I'd actually rather be on the ridges around it. So I feel like Harold and Calnix sort of recognize that the compound's not amazing. You know, it's decent, but it's not amazing. So they're going to play just east instead. Yeah.
Late game safe haven, early game trap. Like you essentially just put yourself in a valley of death by hiding out in there.
I mean, talking of death, we've got the Rumstorm duo sneaking up onto Frank and the Dragon. So
Lazarus eliminated again. That has got to be something we've seen way too many times. Lazarus going out early. Now they did manage to get one down. Oh, actually no, Adam stole the kill onto Kobat, but Lazarus has just not been able to find the footing early game. When they've made it late,
there's absolutely nothing you can do about that if you're Crispy. He needs to do something.
Needs to do something and then some more, because now Sharky and Walter know exactly where he is. Walter did go down to have HP, but the push is imminent. As I say that, Captain from afar. Captain, my Captain. Can you, I like what Sharky was going to do there, but knowing that Weezy was still around, what he wanted to do, I think, was trying to body block some of the hits. So just until you'll tank 1 or 2 shots if you're Sharky, just to make sure that Waldo can be inside the smoke and whatnot. But then he was like, oh wait, I also have a guy right next door, and they know that it's a guy from my team that just got knocked, and now he's pushing around the side.
You cannot spot the knock.
You cannot get the flush. You cannot let him get this, Sharky. Why are you hiding?
I mean, they had no idea who was there.
He was running like an elephant on the side. There's no way Waldo don't hear him.
Waldo was right next to a smoke, though, and the smoke sort of
still
dilutes footstep sound, so I can sort of understand why they didn't really notice that he was pushing around.
Like, why sacrifice your buddy to make sure to body block a guy crawling, to then just leave him completely exposed to the opponent?
I mean, I think Sharky maybe run out of smokes, and you have to expect if he's going to push, because he knows who. That's what I was thinking. Fighting. Yeah. But I wonder if maybe he just thought he'd push around the north side, because he knew where Crispier had got knocked up on the hills. So I mean, the fact that I suppose they did know VZ was down in the compound, because he did shoot them.
They did. I mean, they had a full-on firefight between one another. But I don't know. That was a little surprising to me. But I think, as you said, I mean, it's one of those many different factors playing in, and it looked like a pretty obvious hold from my side, at least. But there could have been a billion different reasons why.
Yeah, there's absolutely no obviously, we're gifted with knowing where everyone is as well. We're gifted with knowing.
It just looked like he was kind of hiding behind the wall rather than holding a set angle. And had he held around the corner of that wall, even though it wasn't the best cover for him, he would still have had the initial shots fired on towards Weezy, and he would have made sure his teammate would have been safe. And now, well, Silson finds Harold. The second after, Harold finds Stab, and that is massive for Silson. Not only does the team that he eliminates help take out the second-place team, but he also gets point in return. That's like a double whammy for them.
Yeah, AWT was a team we were saying didn't have those 0-point games, had those consistent ones. So right out the bat, they now do have one.
Yep.
And I mean, if WClick weren't already in a really solid position, it's starting to look even better by the second.
I was going to say, if you had any hopes of clawing back that 20-point deficit to first place, third or second to last game would be it. And when WClick go out and do just anything remotely close to having a decent finish here, then it's almost over.
Yeah, now I think for AWD, if they want to win, they have to win both games. Like, both games on a wrangle need to be wins.
Something
and WClick has to have quite bad games.
Yes. You'd essentially have to go hunting, because not only would they need good games, if WClick still gets third or fourth or fifth, then those wins won't get you far enough.
Yeah.
Hi, Sub-Zero. Your car's on fire. Try flying forward.
You will die. WClick. Yep.
Oh, you want kills? There you go.
That's about the easiest point Silver's going to get all night.
Oh, you say that now. We've seen crazier things, haven't we?
I mean,
who was that one where they get knocked like right around the corner, like ugh, just falls down right in front of the guy, and it's like, oh, dude, thank you. I don't remember the situation, but that was pretty funny. Circle shifts down south, and it does cause for a bit of a cluster rotation for some teams. There's pretty much a string of teams from Alea down south of Impala all the way up towards where HNK is by Tierra Blanca and Cruz del Valle. So they need, I think, a lot of teams will try to swap like west around, because you just don't have that much space to rotate out east. They would much rather go around Graveyard, around La Bandita, and try and make their way into the circles from that side. But right now, there's such a big cluster around Yaxley, Padcaps, and we see all these players up there, and I do not know how half of them get south from there.
And now is sort of the decision. If you are those teams that are in the circle on the north, do you stay and try and grab the kills for the people that you know are above you, that have to come in, have to come through? Do you stay, try and grab those kills, or do you go to the circle that you know should be relatively empty, but you have no information on whatsoever?
Holy gets popped. Seems like Pommy even prepped the nade to try and see if you can get an on-road explosion kill. I don't know why that's become a thing, where you throw a nade on the road in the middle of everything. Good shots by Priestess there as well. Not sure exactly why that's become a thing, where you throw a nade on the road to have them drive over it. Yeah, I mean, it's just the time you spend throwing the nade, you might as well just keep shooting. But then again, I mean, if they're far enough away that you can get off a full mag anyway, then it's worth the...
Yeah, I mean, it's like if they go remotely near it, like a couple meters away from it, it'll just knock them instantly.
Also, the vehicle will take, like, if you actually place it right and you didn't get to hit the guy too much, but at least you hit the vehicle, then there's a pretty big chance that with a full-on hit explosion with a nade, that's going to be like half the XP, half the durability of the vehicle gone, and that will blow up the vehicle more likely than not.
Yeah, so like if you land those one nades, then suddenly that car is just a free point.
Yeah, exactly.
And whoever's in that car is a free point if you land the nade. So that's why people do it nowadays. And it does work quite successfully. We saw it a couple of times today.
Ooh, wow, ow.
I wasn't even bothering to... He just got ripped.
What? He had like a solid 20 bullets on him, and then he just 180s and taps him to pieces.
And his teammate, meanwhile, just casually 1v2s Sonic's back, you know? Easy as you like.
That's like the biggest disrespect in the world. Wait, you think you can shoot at me? Who do you think you are? Just turns around and like two-taps him.
It's like him and his teammate just playing different games.
It's like where you get all those whoa, like all those burn memes and stuff, just like reaction memes going on in the chat. If anyone ever gonna clip that right there, that's what you gotta add to it, because that was uncalled for. It was very, very brutal.
And now Wizards is left in such a rough spot. Where,
it's like,
where does he go?
Do I really want to peek this guy now? I don't know. With my level 1 helmet and a Uzi, I don't know if that's really what I would do.
And they might actually get I think Ganjahan, if he just runs up the ridge, he's going to just get another free kill.
No fairness, Ganjahan has had some of these moments also in the Latin Masters. I mean, whenever he's left on his own, there you go. Double kill for him as well. He just got 4 kills in the matter of seconds. I mean, Ganjahan has had these moments in the Latin Masters as well, where I think he had a 1v3 up and around on Miramar as well, just south of Cruz del Valle in an endgame situation, where just like he sprays down a guy, sees the inch of a person on the side of a smoke, flips over, gets a double knock there, and then takes the last guy out a little later as well. He just, I mean, out of nowhere, sometimes pulls off these complete absurd Counter-Strike reaction type plays, and he makes it look easy, but holy cow, it's gonna hurt a lot when you're the one on the receiving end.
There's one of those Alt F4.
Yeah, did you know what? Nah, I don't want to be a player in this game anyway. What are my 4,000 hours against what he just did to me? I mean, how am I ever going to do that? Circles shifted south once more. And, well, now, obviously, the players that were in a cluster before, but were still somewhat inside the circle, they will all have to move. Anyone north of where we had pad caps previous to this, they all need to make the move down that... it's like a little mountain stretch or mountain side that goes all the way from the water, pretty much, all the way to Minas Generales. It's like one big downhill, and no one up there has really had a chance to scout down. That's the issue. Everyone, essentially, that are coming down south now is rotating blindly, because they have no way of knowing which of these compounds are taken or not.
And the worst thing for all these teams is that, like, when you are coming south, because of those rocks, like, you're funneled into these 3 sort of gaps. You either the west rock, like, through the middle of the rocks, or on the eastern coast. So, as soon as, like, 3 teams get in those positions, suddenly there's no way in, and suddenly you have to go through those shots. You have to take damage to even get anywhere near the circle.
You see some teams are daring and pushing forward fast, and some teams are trying to hold back, and the teams that are holding back are in massive trouble right now. Pom, Parisas both gone down. Nay, Ball and Captain tried to hold the angle, but I think it was actually Low Kicks who got the double kill there. And seems like a lot of other teams, they've just said, you know what, we don't even care. Wait, what, was that a nade? Just bounced it off in the air. Fudge goes down, and GLL able to find the knock onto the first player. Victor tries to come around this side, but Winter's able to spin on him as well. There's been a lot of very impressive turnarounds, and all of a sudden, Kalnick's out of nowhere. Stands to get the flush into the first. Now GLL under full HP, just about 70%. What do you do here? Valiant takes down Cherry as well. That's anything is possible out of the equation.
Yeah, it looks like Kalnick's still better of having that gunfight. He grabbed the point, got something out of it, and now he can just back off and try and survive into the mid game and into the late game. And if he can just survive like 10 more players, you're looking at placement points all of a sudden.
It's pretty wild to imagine that 4 of these teams just hard crashed into Impala. And I think the reason being is that the south side of this circle is so compound favored. Like, whenever you're outside of Impala on the western side, you have 2 or 3 ridge lines you can hide in, and everything else is compounds. And they just never care to try and scout. Like, it's really not worth the risk for us right now to try and scout it, because even if you do take a fight, odds are there's one more team coming. That's going to be trouble. And Johan goes down there. Beal, good shots from a distance. But and then she said, you know what, we can CBA. And I just don't want to try and see if it's even available. We know we'll get a house or 2 in Impala. Screw it, if there's more people coming, we're just going to chill there and see what happens. I do think the circle's going to go southwest now, though, given the mountains that they tend to.
Yeah, but it should be shifting towards pack caps in
Exactly.
And at that point, Impala is actually still pretty strong, just because the circle's big enough that it can't shift all the way out.
But it's still one of those, there's only one team that escapes Impala type scenarios. And, okay, actually, I mean, it had to shift away from the southeastern mountain, and then it couldn't really not include the one where Paplex and NA Luck is the one there. So they're still in. Makes sense. Impala is pretty much in to its fullest as well. Now Low Kicks and his teammate trying to push further down. They might be running into kill demo. I'm not sure exactly how they're planning on playing this.
Yeah, that's one of those rotations where you have nothing and you just go and you just hope for the best.
Going center phase 4.
They've definitely not got the best.
I respect the courage, but they do have the rich line up there. But as you can see, Kill Demo and his teammate, they do not want to wait for it. Nope, no, it's not. I saw Psycho in the kill feed and I was like, oh, that's them. But nope, not quite the case. Kill Demo and Paplex still by themselves there. Nade's thrown a bit too far. Second one cooked and primed. Nope. Oh, this one's back down. Actually does some damage to Low Kicks.
Yeah, they're not the best nades in the world. And if first you don't succeed, try again. And Kill Demo is actually getting tagged up, I think, from afar.
Yeah.
Who are forced to back off from this. Somehow, they've actually survived Low Kicks in Chrism. I thought they were done for as soon as they pulled up there, but they're actually doing okay.
I don't really like these smokes they've thrown too much, because these are not Kill Demo and Paplex's smokes. It's Critstem and Low Kicks' ones, and they've thrown them, in my opinion, too close to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it just denies your own vision rather.
Yeah, they can't. I mean, they're just. It's nice that your opponents can see you, but you can't do anything because there's no way for you of obtaining any info whatsoever, and that's kind of horrible.
Yeah, that's why when you're pushing a house, you always smoke the house rather than yourself, because you can then use that to just deny all the vision of the other team and allow yourself to move around it. But when you smoke yourself, it's completely other way. The other team can move around the smokes, and you have no idea what's going on.
Sorry, mate. He's well, it's not exactly. I think both of them are in this Jack. Neither of them in the best position. Agila is trying to make something out of very little, in terms of being prone down by a couple of cardboard boxes.
Yeah, it's not in the best position in the zone.
Fortunately,
for sure.
These orange boxes are bulletproof.
Yeah.
Or is it oranges? No, I think it's peaches, right?
Or lemons.
Or lemons.
No,
whenever life gives you lemons,
oranges, actually, to be fair.
Whenever life gives you oranges, make them bulletproof, and that's exactly what Agila's done.
Yeah, it's very, very handy if you could just imagine if you could just touch a cardboard box, which is bulletproof. Oh, that'd be a very useful.
It would be easy to make a house.
Yeah, it's true.
Cardboard house,
just
chill.
Just invulnerable.
Unfortunately, they weren't that bulletproof, or maybe they were, but Sharky found an angle, so that's going to be one down. And Sharky, I don't think has any expectations of being able to living through this one. Left, right, dodge, weave, up, down, ASD. I don't know what you do, but you just try to do anything to survive. And somehow, Silson and Kodak actually for a second there looked the other way, and that might have allowed for Sharky to get safe.
Yeah, I mean, that situation, Sharky's just looking for that one extra point, which he got from the kill. So
yeah,
he's sort of done what he was planning, and now anything he get extra is just like an added bonus. It's a win. You know, like one more point is a win in that sort of situation.
Anything is bonus.
You're not wrong.
Huh?
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I love casting PUBG.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even ironic. I really love it.
I love being a nuisance to you. Great fun.
Well, it's hard. Yeah, that's an open path.
See you later.
And I think this is also one of the things. Why do they have a gas can stand there? This is also one of the things that really makes Kodak and Silson scary. First of all, I got to talk to these guys. They know this map inside out. And second of all, they always take aggro positions. You never see Kodak and Silson play hiding in a shack and won't be doing anything for the next 3 circles. No, they sit on the high grounds. They get the position from where they can shoot. Even if there's just one guy left remaining, they will try and do as much damage as they can before they go down. And given how good their shots are, I mean, they just always get points. They always get points. They always find these solos. Kalnick's nice pusher off the side. The HNK finished off, and I like the fact that he immediately turns back down, because who hurt these shots? Who's pushing out from Impala right now? He has to clear this before he can push in. Yeah,
as I was saying with W-Click, is they play exactly how you need to be playing in duos. It's proactive. It clears out their side. I say clear out their side. They've got like 5 teams next to them at this point, but
they cleared out the right side.
Yeah, but they cleared out all the people that could be pushing towards them and could be backstabbing them.
Yeah.
And now they just need to deal front on with the people around them. And suddenly they're in a sick position. And that's why they keep winning games, is because they're able to clear out the solos around them. They're able to get rid of those little landmines that are hiding in the bushes. And once they do that and they start pushing onto other duos, I mean, they win the fight so consistently.
How do you like Cream and Nable's split?
Ooh,
ooh.
I think it was out of like necessity rather than choice. If we saw earlier, I think Nail lost his vehicle, or maybe vice versa.
Was not on
but
purpose.
I mean, it gives you a lot of map control and a lot of vision.
Yeah.
But there's also the risk is like one of you gets knocked and there's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. You are playing essentially 2 solos in the same match that are teaming.
Yeah, but
Kalnick, did he just lose his bike, or did someone else take it?
I don't think that was his bike.
Oh, it wasn't his bike to begin with. Okay, makes sense then. Kalnick is running. Unfortunately, the eyes are everywhere else. The bikes are attracting attention, and I think Dreamrush being allowed to drive outside of the city might have... Oh no, and this crate might actually allow for them to spot Kalnick's.
Yeah, I mean, they already knew he was there because I mean Kalnick's. Yeah, I thought about Dreamrush for a second, but anyway.
No, Kalnick's. I mean, he's running out of the city now.
They was actually able to support his teammate all the way on the south, so it actually worked out really well.
That's a split that somehow worked out that I wasn't expecting. You can see everyone looking up towards the crate, and there's Silson finds him. What? Did you just headshot him?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
All right then.
Well, I guess he didn't want to stay alive anyway.
I mean, I couldn't hit centre mass on the person there, but he just casually hits ahead.
Ow. That's
nice
Kodak.
well.
Just casually 200-meter nade through his little window there. Yep.
Everything's going their way.
Pretty decent.
Isn't it? The shots are hitting, the nades are landing. There's the
blow up
game
the
you
bike, get Dreamrush.
Exactly. 5 kills towards Sizzles now. They just can't have a bad game.
It's absurd. Oh, casually landed one more headshot there. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, it's getting silly.
It's actually
getting Sillyson.
It's actually getting Silson.
That was like worse than yours. I'm sort of disappointed in myself for that one.
You should be.
Yeah.
You're a terrible human being.
Hey, you're not wrong.
You will be. If your humor don't improve, you will be. You know what? In the end of things, you might get that humor.
Has Silson missed a shot this game?
I think he did once.
I
think he missed a bullet earlier when he was shooting at the smokes over towards Psycho.
Yeah, to make it fair for someone else. But I mean, he is hitting all his shots tonight. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's a double nade. Oh, at least a single. Silson, 7 kills. Oh, 6 kills, 7 for the team. Ooh, has to back off. He is not invulnerable after all. Balefrost does manage to do damage, but he's dead.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what? Not quite.
Oh, he cooked it for a bit too long.
Couple HP, 15 HP to save his life now, but one more nade will do it.
Oh, it's because he wanted to give the kill to... Oh, no, never mind. Random nade now. They knew it was clear. They're going to push further forward. Oh, 3 kills, you say?
He just gets another one.
7 kills, 8 kills. Okay, he does... The joy does come to an end eventually, and I think he was like full on adrenaline rush. By that
going for everything.
You know how in the old GTA games you get the rampage thing that you're just like, you're invulnerable, and you get these absurd weapons. I think that he was feeling a bit of that. And he felt invulnerable for a while, and he kind of just a bit more than he could chew, and then he went down. But in all fairness, during his rampage, he did manage to get 7 kills. So I think they should see themselves well satisfied with that.
Yeah, I mean, if they hadn't already won overall, I think they have now. Like, I think it's going to be
10
unassailable.
kills now, and Kodak hasn't even started yet. I mean, Kodak is... oh, no mind.
No.
He's dead.
See you later.
6th place, though. 10 kills. Congratulations on $20,000.
I mean, that's not a bad game.
No,
it's a pretty decent one right there.
Had Stab and Rillo still been alive, there might have been a discussion.
Yeah.
But with 2 games left to play, I am not seeing it happen. But then again, I mean, we have seen more absurd things before. They could get full-on tunneled by other teams coming into the next game. And
I mean, if they go out like 32nd both games in a row, maybe. But then
well,
AWD have to win both. So
anything out of 13th, I guess, essentially, without kills.
Yeah, without kills.
Yeah, I mean, we won't know. Of course, there's still plenty more PUBG to come, and that's one of the things I like about PUBG. That even, I mean, okay, sometimes you'll have a team that's up at like 50 points with 1 game left. Not gonna happen. Like, it's just impossible for it to actually do so. But even in these situations where it does seem extremely far-fetched, we have seen it before, where a team just goes full-on. I mean, what was it, Knights during PEL Phase 2? They needed it. I mean, even I think even D-Man at one event was like, yeah, they ain't gonna make it.
I mean,
And they go out and get like 4 wins in a row or something like that. Get 70 points in one day. It's like, okay, congratulations.
Phase's gap, I think, on PGC was like 23, 24 points going into that final game in the semis. I want to say, like, they were so far behind, and then they literally just killed the entire server, and they made it by like 2 points in the end. So like, even though we talk about how these gaps were pretty much unassailable, there is still like that mathematical possibility that some sort of absolutely insane performance by a team could swing it.
Insane performance combined with miracle. Because it's not always... That's the funny thing. I mean, a lot of what you do... I mean, in a game like that one with Phase 1, yes, it was very, very impressive play by them. But in many situations, it's also... You're so reliant on other things to happen exactly how you need them to. Like, certain teams have to go out when certain teams have to go out. It can be completely out of your... completely out of your control whether they go out when they do or not. But you're so reliant on having very specific things happen in a very specific order. And sometimes all the stars just align and you draw the doggy number.
I mean, a great example is back to Lucid in EU Open, where they had that 8 HP 1v2 versus M47 and turned that game into a 19-point win.
Yeah.
And if that hadn't happened, they wouldn't have even been in contention for the win at the end.
Exactly. Psycho gets himself a nugget flash on towards Paplex. Only 1 player down for the team, though. Guild Demo is still up. So we got plenty of solos, and Naples and Captain somehow are alive as a duo in this game on the western side, and they actually have the circle right now.
I mean, that split, it actually worked out beautifully.
It did.
Because they were able to watch over each other and just prevent anyone. Like, we saw Taylor J and Pack Caps pushing towards Captain, and Nehel just, like, covered him from afar. I think he got one of them and put the other one really low, and then Captain was able to just finish off the gunfight.
I think it was somewhat of a forced split early on, if you can say it. Like, it wasn't an intentional split.
Yeah,
it was more like, okay, I guess I can't find you. Let's just hope at some point in the late game we'll get splayed together. Well, it all worked out for them. 3 teams left remaining. That is a Hail Mary and a Nate. It's just a solid 50 meters short.
Yeah,
Good try, though, Psycho. Don't throw one more.
Wasn't quite on.
He does have a little 3 gear, though. Seems like he... well, he's not too keen on doing the far. And he knows his duo is down there. And right now, yep, that's exactly what he was hoping for. He knows his duo left him alive, and now he can push forward.
Yeah, but Psycho has to go crazy if he wants to win this one.
You say that. He has a little 3 gear. Up against, well, it isn't as SLR, but it's not impossible. Not impossible. I like the fact that Cream is pushing up to the edge of the circle to try and zone him out. That's a pretty smart play. Don't want to let him wrap all the way underneath. But again, this level 3 gear.
But I want to see, like, Captain should literally just be proning and just let Neville just get the tags in and then just stand up when he gets really close. But instead, he's given away his position. And I mean, if Psycho can land a nade, or like if Psycho can get Neville now, he knows exactly where the second player is to take that gunfight and to win the game.
Did Nable just jump?
The panic jump.
When he had to crouch. You don't panic jump after you've seen the guy. You panic jump when you get shot. Not like bullet number 17.
Oh, the fat finger then. No. Yeah.
That's more of what I'm thinking. Captain, don't sit in the big red tractor. That's a eye magnet for opponents.
That AUG is like the perfect... I mean, it may be a Grozer in this situation because of how close, but that gun is pretty beautiful at close range.
Yeah, some like it. I'm not a big fan. I guess just because I've never really picked it up.
Because you're weird. That's why.
No, it just means it was the same with me on the MK14 in the beginning. Because I just never picked it up, so I always whiffed it.
Yeah,
and I always get those weapons when there's like 5 people alive, and then I die because I am not used to using that gun. I have that exact feeling with the AOG. Now 3x for Psycho, and Creamy is doing more of a more for a Saint strategy. Wait, does he act? There's no way in hell he sees him.
I mean, he knows roughly where he is.
But he could have been everywhere on this ridge line.
Yeah.
He could be anywhere.
I mean, he knows he should be somewhere towards the tractor, right? Like, realistically, he should be on a ridge close towards the tractor.
Could you? I would
yeah.
laugh my butt off.
It just smacked him in the face.
I think Captain would probably go report him somewhere,
Yeah.
just out of sheer frustration. That is not supposed to happen.
I'd report it.
Oh, and now he lost his pen. It's like, aw, can you please throw it back to me?
Yeah, but if it's a PGC pan, it's fine because it doesn't block bullets.
Yeah, true.
You'll be okay.
True. Napo is trying to flank around, get the info on him. Now he is shooting Psycho, and this should be the time that Scream comes over the top and finds the kill. Captain secures it. That's a great play right there. Attract the attention from the player afar, and then out of nowhere, peekaboo.
Yeah, what are you going to do when the bad boys come for you? There was absolutely nothing Psycho could do. And a nice little win for Nailborn Captain. 6
Well, you're really hoping that they were going to win, so you could say that.
What? I mean, no. I mean, you missed my Psycho one. Psycho goes, like, I was proud of that one. That was good. You missed it. When I make a pun, ignore. When he makes a pun,
they're bad that they don't
I have
get
to
them.
acknowledge it. That's...
In the end, what an interesting final game of Miramar. I mean, even though they didn't win, I have a feeling that we'll see probably in second place overall, W-Click, or maybe third. I mean, at some point, Lowkick's just like, nah, you know what, I've had it. This is taking so long. He just started running around and hunting, like literally hunting people.
Just got a bit bored. Sadly, you want to go for a couple more kills, like kill them a hit. I mean, that fight got really awkward really fast. I think they were able to win it out in the end then. We saw some really nice like individual plays this game. Obviously, Stilson, the big one there, but we saw Kalnix that 1v2 and then able to snake into a really nice position in the end. It was pretty nasty.
I mean, just the fact that they both... Just the fact that they... I mean, had he not gotten so greedy in the end and pushed... Like, whenever they killed all these guys, had they just used the dip, instead of going Leroy up to the right side, they actually might have, if not won the game, then been in an even better position, because they could have potentially cleared out that side of the circle and been that duo that would have gone against them in the end with level 3 gear and vest. I mean, I don't even want to think about how many kills they would have had.
Yeah, but I think that's almost because of where they are in the leaderboard. Like, if you're the fourth team, you're not necessarily that... I don't want to say arrogant, but it does feel like you're at that point where you don't really care. Like, because you know they pretty much know they've won, right?
They're up by quite a bit, let's put it.
I don't want to underhype the final games, but they know. Like, so they can go into that game and you just think, I want to have the record game. I want to have the most kills. Because 12, I think, is our biggest one, and they've not quite beat it yet.
Nope.
But I mean, if they had got that next gunfight, I mean, you have to think they would have done it. So I almost feel like that's what they're trying to do now.
We are going to go to a short break, guys. Who knows? Maybe W-Click can secure themselves a 13-kill win next game. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to take a short one. Be right back.